going through these two questions. The first one, we have got two terms. Oh, Alvarez, that's okay. You just think when you start doing this in class, you're going to be ahead of the curve and everyone's going to be jealous of you. So in this first one, I can't add these two together because they are not like terms. So I have to do distribution. Okay, and distribution just means that I'm taking this negative 4x and I'm multiplying it by my negative 2. So negative 4 times negative 2 is going to give me positive 8. And then I have an x. And then I'm going to multiply it into the second term. So I'm going to have negative 4 times positive 3, which is going to be negative 12. I've got two x's, so that's x squared. And then I've got a y. Okay, so that's my first part. Second part, I'm looking at this term over here. I've got negative 2 times negative 2, which is positive 4, and then I've got a y. And so I found my terms, I simplified each term, and now here I don't have any like terms. There's nothing which is the same as each other, so I can't simplify it further. So that is my final answer. That's where I leave it. Okay, who landed up getting that question right? Let me know. Either use a happy emoji or tell me in the chat. Nice. Cool. Awesome, guys. Well done. Claire, do you have a question or were you saying you got it right?
Beautiful.
Oh, Leah, don't worry. We just try. So, Leah, the only thing that happened with yours was it was your signs that were getting a little bit confused. So you just do your best. You just try. Okay. In question 2, again, the first thing we did was we identified our terms. Now we have to think, well, in this first one here, again, I can't add those two that are inside the brackets because they're not the same. So I'm going to distribute my 3 into both of them. So I'm going to get negative 12x, and then I'm going to 3 times 2, which is positive 6. So I'm going to have negative 12x plus 6. Then this 3y, I don't have to do anything because it's all by itself. So plus 3y. And in my third term, these x's are going to cancel with each other. So I land up with negative 6y. Okay. When I get to this point, I want to find my like terms. So I've got 3y minus 6y. And so my final answer is going to be negative 12x plus 6 minus 3y. Okay, how did this one go? How did this question go? Nice, Ezekiel.
I see Thomas is celebrating the hey? That's good.
Excellent. Beautiful, guys. Nice job. Okay. So that was the work that we did on Tuesday. Now we're going to move on to something which some of you may have done in class. You're going to let me know now if you've done it in class. We are going to be doing binomials times binomials. Binomial is just a fancy word for meaning it's got two terms. So if you think about a bicycle, how it's got 2 wheels, that's telling us that it's got 2. Okay, Roman, no, the numbers don't need to be in the same order at all. Who has done binomials times binomials in class already? Who has done it already in class? Just so I can get an idea. Okay. So some have and some haven't. That's great. That's fine. If you haven't heard of it before, you are going to hear about it now. Okay. So like I said, a binomial just means that it's got 2 terms. So a binomial times a binomial means we've got a bracket, which has got 2 terms, and we're multiplying it by another bracket that has got 2 terms. Okay, now some of your teachers may have used the word FOIL to teach it. So sometimes people say, oh, it's a binomial times a binomial, I must use FOIL, which is going to make sense just now. I don't necessarily say FOIL. I just think I have to multiply everything in the first bracket by everything in the second bracket. That's sort of how I think about it. But if you want to think of it as FOIL, that's fine. I'll show you what FOIL means for those who don't know yet. Okay, so what I mean by multiplying everything in the first bracket by everything in the second bracket is that the first thing I have to do is I have to take x and I have to multiply it by x and I have to multiply it by 3. That's my first job. Okay, so I'm going to say x times x is x squared and x times 3 is 3x. That's my first row. I'm actually going to make it a little bit lower so that I have some space over here. Okay. Then, so all I've done at the moment is all I've done so far is my x. I haven't done anything else. Now I care about my -2. And I want to multiply my -2 with my x, and I want to multiply my -2 with my 3. So -2 times x is -2x, and -2 times 3 is -6. Now, the reason some teachers teach this using the word FOIL is because the F stands for, some space over here, FOIL. The F stands for first. So first term and first term. So that stands for first. Then the O stands for outer. So the outer term and the outer term. The I stands for inner. So our 2 inside terms. And then the L stands for last. So our 2 last terms. And so that's why people say FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. And lots of teachers will use that word. So don't be scared when you see it in class coming up when you start doing this. Oh, that L went a little bit cuckoo. There we go. But all we really do, it's like a fancy way of thinking, all we're doing is we are multiplying everything in our first bracket by everything in our second bracket. Now, when we get to this point, what do you think we're going to do from here? How do I finish off the sum? I know you know. There we go. Like terms. Nice, guys. And now I want to find like terms. So I can see that 3x and the -2x are the same as each other. So my final answer here is going to be x squared. 3 minus 2 is 1. I don't need to write the 1. I could just say plus x and minus 6. And that's our final answer. How cool is that? So those of you who have not seen this before, does it seem scary or does it seem nice? Nice, yeah.
Maybe it's a bit nice. It's a bit nice.
It's a bit nice. Yeah, it's very nice though, I think. It's like the same thing. It's so okay, let's try one more. Let's try one more together and then I'm gonna let you go rogue. Okay. So no, Awami, it's not scary. Okay, so for this one, I'm gonna make it a little bit nicer before we start bringing in a number. So let me just take him away for the moment. Okay, so we're gonna do exactly the same thing. We're gonna take our 2x and we're gonna multiply it by our x. And what is 2x times x? What am I gonna get when I multiply those two together? No, yeah, careful.
2x squared.
Yes, beautiful. 2x squared. Sorry, guys. I know it takes you a little bit of time to type, so don't worry. I will give you time always. Okay, so 2x squared. Then I've got 2x times -4. And what is that going to land up giving me? So now I'm saying 2x times -4. What answer would I get multiplying those two together? It's the same. Yeah, you're on the right track. Negative what?
8.
Yes. And the last thing?
Nice. Cool.
Okay, so I'm going to have -8, but then I can't leave off this variable, guys, because I'm saying 2x times -4, so it's -8x. I got to have that x there. Okay, Then we take our next one. So now I'm saying, well, what is -1 times x? That's going to be -1x or -x. And then I have -1 times -4. A negative and a negative is a positive. So I'm going to have +4. Nice, guys. I love the answers coming in the chat. Now from here, I'm just going to find my like terms. So -8x and -1x. And so my final answer here is going to be 2x squared, -8 minus 1, which is -9x plus 4. And that would be our final answer. Okay. Cool. Do you feel like you can try one alone? Do we feel ready? I think you can. Yes, I think so too. Okay. Try that one for me. And when you have an answer, you're welcome to put it in the chat for us. Or you can put your hand up and talk us through. That's fine, Simpiwe. Thanks for letting us know. Just do your best and maybe make sure all the cameras are off. That sometimes helps the connection. And try and use the chat. Cool. Some good things are coming through here, guys, and then some slightly off things. I think you just didn't look at your last two terms properly. I think you said 5 minus 2 or -5 plus 2.
And Asonge as well, just the last 2 terms.
Yeah, Asonge, I think that you might be adding these two and not multiplying them.
Yes, Tabetu, that's what you forgot.
Yeah, there we go. Light bulb moment. Nice. Cool. Let's try. I love that spirit, Ezekiel. Thanks. Okay, so first step over here, we are going to say 2x times y, which is going to give us 2xy. 2x times 2, which is going to give us 4x. Let's change this color. -5 times y is -5y, and -5 times 2 is -10, and I don't have any like terms, so I can't add anything. So that is my final answer. And that is as lovely as binomials are. So now I want to know, if you haven't done binomials in class yet, so this is only for people who haven't done this in school, how many of you got this question right? So if you haven't done this in school and you got this question right, can you let us know, either in the chat or with an emoji? Watobe, well done. Leah, Tiana, Thomas. Oh, guys, yay.
Sure, so many.
Awesome.
Well, I'm impressed.
Shengi. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Let's, oh, gosh, guys. You did this so quickly that I already have a puzzle. But you know what, before we do that puzzle, I'm going to actually just put in a question here to see if we can try something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a number outside there. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to explain this one to you because it's not something that you've seen. So you're going to do more of them a little bit later. but just so that I'm just going to talk you through this one entirely, like to teach it so that you know what's going on. When we have a number that's chilling like this outside of two binomials, or it could be a sign, it could be anything. The important thing is that the first thing we want to do is we want to do our binomial times our binomial. You can multiply that 2 in here, but the problem is when we do that, sometimes we forget to keep it in brackets. And so then we end up making a mistake later on. So the easiest thing to do is when you see you've got these two binomials, is either get a highlighter and highlight them, or put big brackets around them to think, I must do the binomial times the binomial first, as like a little hint to yourself. If you do it first, it always saves you and it stops you from making mistakes later. Okay, so then I'm going to keep this 2 out here, and I'm just going to work inside this bracket. And I'm going to say x times x, which is x squared, x times -3, which is -3x, 1 times x, which is positive x, and 1 times -3, which is -3. Okay, so all I've done at the moment is I've done my binomial. Now from here, I'm going to add these like terms. So now I'm going to add like terms. And I'm going to say I have 2 brackets. I'm just changing it to a curly bracket now because I think sometimes the square brackets scare people. But if you are not scared of the square brackets, then please feel free to keep it. So now I'm going to have x squared minus 3 plus 1 is going to be -2. And then I've got my -3. And now that I'm at this point, I'm going to distribute the 2. So now I'm going to take this 2 in and I'm going to multiply it into all 3 terms. And so I get 2x squared minus 4x minus 6. Okay. So this is like, it's the same work that you've done. The first 2 steps is the same as we've done so far. And then the last step, we just think about distribution. We did irrational, rational, real, and unreal numbers right at the beginning of the year in our very first course of the year. Okay, and if we follow these steps, you can never go wrong. The biggest hint I can say to you, and I cannot stress it enough, is I know sometimes you think, oh, I must just distribute the 2 and it's going to look so easy. But if you link those 2 together and you always do them first, you're guaranteed to not make a mistake later on. All right. Okay, let's get our puzzle brain on. The first puzzle is really easy. So I have a backup puzzle in case you get this one too quickly. Yeah, we did fractions when we were working with numbers. Okay. I want to know what number the question mark is. And if you get this one too easily, I've got a backup question. So let's see. Who can tell me what the question mark is? Nope. It's not 4. It's not 5. It's not 1. Roma, yes. Roma, can you explain to us why it is 6? Roma is our current winner. I'm going to give you a little crown, Roma.
Ma'am, I just said 3 plus 3 because there's 3 and 3 on top of the question.
Exactly. So the one, each oh, what is this? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Is this a hexagon? Yes, it's a hexagon. Okay. Every number is made up by the numbers above it. So that 1 plus 3 gave us a 4. And so this 3 plus this 3 is going to give us a 6. And like this 1 plus 2 is going to give us a 3. For a bonus mark, can anyone tell me what triangle? This triangle has a very fancy name. Does anyone know whose triangle this is? Yeah?
Ma'am, I think it's Pythagoras' triangle.
Oh, it's close, but it's not Pythagoras triangle. Pythagoras triangle looks like this. This is what Pythagoras triangle looks like. No, not equilateral. The P was the start of the right word. But I feel no, not pentagon. Pi, no. This triangle's name is Pascal's triangle. He was a mathematician. His name was Pascal. I don't know what his first name was, but yes, so this triangle is called Pascal's triangle. And it actually has like lots of crazy cool mathematical things that we're not going to get into today, but at some point in class, you may see Pascal's triangle, and now you know what it is. So if you ever see a triangle that looks like this, where the ones are going all the way down the side, and it's getting bigger like that, and anyone asks you what it is, you can say that is Pascal's triangle. Do you feel up for a slightly harder question? You can give me a yes or a no, a test. Okay. All right, you said yes, but I'm going to warn you that it's tricky. Okay, here we go. So, oh, I'm going to draw my own triangles now. Let's see if you can solve this. I want to know what that question mark is. Oh, Alvarez, no, this is not algebra. So halfway through every lesson, we do like a little brain, what's called a brain break, but basically we give you like a little puzzle just to give your brain a little bit of a break from the work that we're currently doing. Okay, so my first triangle, I've got a 5 at the top, I've got a 3 and a 1 at the bottom, and inside it's 21. In my second one, I've got a 3 at the top, a 2 and a 1 at the bottom, and my inside is 6. My third triangle, I have a 7 at the top, and then at the bottom, I've got a 5 and a 4. And I am wanting to know what the answer to, I want to know what that question mark is. It is not 73, it's not 140, it's not 15. Don't know if I missed any there.
Okay.
It's not 39. 39 is the closest answer, but it's not correct. It's not 69, it's not 63. It's not 35. Nope. Ah, Lolita, you've got it right. Can you explain to us how you got it? Otherwise, I'm not giving you the mark. So I'm worried people are just guessing numbers here. Lolita, can you tell us how you got to 40? Guys, so the answer is definitely 40. Sorry, let me just fix this here. The top number times 2 minus the bottom numbers. It's what you're saying. I think I know what you're saying. It's just not times 2. How would we write that in a better way, Ezekiel? Okay, so the way that this one worked was we would say 5 squared. So 5 times 5 is 25 minus 1 minus 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 minus 1 minus 2 is 6. 7 times 7 is 49 minus 4 minus 5 is 40. This is quite a cool one to sort of trick your friends. So if you want to bet some tuck shop money or like a chocolate on it, give it to them. You can put down any numbers that you would like as long as it works out. See if they can find that middle number. Get yourself a free chocolate. Okay, cool. That was our brain break of the day. Let us, well done for those who got it right. Lolita was our only winner, I think, there. And Roman, our first question. So now I showed you how to do this with a 2 on the outside. And now instead of a 2 on the outside, I've just put a -1. So what I'd like you to do is, because I've just showed you how to do questions like this, I would like you all to give this one a try, but I'm going to scaffold it a little bit and say that the first thing we want to do is we want to bracket those two binomials. Okay, so I want everyone to give this question a try. Just put in your best efforts. And if you have an answer, put your answer in your chat so that we can see how you're doing. Okay. Can you, I don't know what's happening, but your mic is like muting, unmuting, unmuting, unmuting. Can you just try and keep it on mute for us? I don't know what's going on. Okay, and just remember your steps here. Just take it step by step. Don't be scared by it. We want to say first term times the first term times the second term, second term times the first term, second term times the second term. So first do that process, then multiply in that negative, and then let's see who lands up getting this answer correct. Remember, we will do more like this as the lesson goes on, so don't stress. Okay, so if you're feeling lost, just focus on what's happening in these brackets. So just do your binomial times your binomial like we started with the lesson. So just start by literally just doing it step by step. Take your first term, multiply it by your first term, and write what that's going to be. Okay, so negative x times 2x is going to be negative 2x, just like that. Then you take your first term and multiply it by your second term and write what that answer is going to be. So just write each of those answers. So you should have 4 answers happening in that bracket. That's your first step. Your first step is your FOIL. And your second step is to add your like terms that are inside the brackets. Okay, and then your final step here is to distribute the negative sign. And that's only our last step. Okay, let's see who landed up getting this 100% right. So the first step, we've got this negative 2x. I'm going to do these arrows as we go. Then my second one, I'm saying negative, that was my first one. My second one, negative x times positive 5 is going to be negative 5x. Okay, next, we're going to say 3 times 2x, which is positive 6x. Then we're going to say 3 times 5, which is positive 15. And that is our very first step. Okay, nothing scary about that, just our binomial times our binomial. All that step was. Okay, remember we always need to be careful with our signs, numbers, and variables as we work through this. Always think about that. Now we're going to find our like terms. So I've got negative 5x plus 6x. I'm going to keep this negative on the outside, and I've got negative 2x squared. Negative 5 plus 6 is going to be positive 1x plus 15. Okay, so I did my like terms. And now I'm going to distribute my negative. So I'm going to take this sign and I'm going to distribute it into all three of my terms. So negative times a negative is a positive. So I'm going to positive 2x squared. And negative times a positive is a negative. So now I'm going to get a negative x. And negative times a positive is a negative. So I'm going to get negative 15. So our final answer is 2x squared minus x minus 15. All right. This was a tricky one because of all of the signs. But a very big well done to those of you who got it. If you didn't get it, hopefully you understand it a bit now that we've spoken through it and you feel ready to try another one. Okay, cool. Let's give another one a go. Okay, I'm going to make this one a little bit easier just for just while we're getting used to these. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of this for now. Okay, so just those. I want you to give this a try. Think about what we've said. So the first thing you want to do is you want to put a bracket around the two binomials and you want to do your binomial times your binomial. Okay. Simply where that's absolutely fine. In maths, there are always multiple roads that take you to the same destination. That is fine. Okay, so just think about your binomial times your binomial. That's okay. And then once you've simplified it, you're going to take in that negative 2. So just take it one step at a time. I know that it looks a little bit scary, but if we just break it up and we do one thing at a time, it becomes a lot less scary. Ezekiel, I feel like there's an x squared missing somewhere in there. Keep your answers coming in so I can see where we're going wrong, where we're going right. Okay, let's start doing this step by step. Or wait, does anyone still need some more time? Just use the little hands up emoji for me quickly if you need some more time with this question. Okay, no problem. No problem. Try and keep your brain awake for just 20 more minutes. With grade 9, we only have classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The same with grade 10. And I think like the grade 7s and the grade 11s, I think they may be on Mondays and Wednesdays. I don't know when the grade 12s are. Maybe the grade 12s are also on Monday and Wednesday. So always two days a week for each grade at the moment. Watobe's only on maths. Okay, Lulama, is your hand up to answer or was it up to ask for more time? All right, let's go through this question. Let's see who landed up getting it right. So I'm going to keep my -2 on the outside. I'm going to do my binomial times my binomial. I'm going to keep this in a bracket. 6 times x is 6x. 6 times 4 is 24. Negative x times x is negative x squared. Now, I think a lot of people will have forgotten that guy because we look at that and we think, well, negative x plus x is equal to 0. And so then it like falls out of our head. But we have to remember that we're multiplying. That's why that one is important there. Okay, and then negative x times 4, which is negative 4x. So that is our first step. Second step, we want to look for our like terms. So I've got this 6x over here, and I've got this negative 4x over here. I have negative 2, and then inside this bracket, 6 minus 4, which is 2x plus 24 minus x squared. Okay, that's our second step. Then our third step is we now want to bring in this negative 2 into all three terms. So I'm going to say, well, negative 2 times 2x is going to give me negative 4x. Negative 2 times 24 is going to give me negative 48. And negative 2 times negative x squared is going to give me positive 2x squared. And remember, these can be in any order. So I could also have written 2x squared minus 4x minus 48. They mean the same thing. Okay, so let's get an idea of how this question went. If you got the first step, so if you got your binomial, give yourself a mark there. If you were able to simplify your like terms, give yourself another mark. And if you were able to get the answer, give yourself one more. So let's see, out of 3, how did we do in this question? 1, 2, or 3 out of 3? Nice. Cool.
Oh, this is beautiful.
That's okay. Remember, it's just about practice. So if you're not getting 3 out of 3 yet, it's okay. 1 out of 3, if you hadn't started this section in class yet, and this is the first time you're learning it, 1 out of 3 is great because it means you've learned one thing more than where we started. Okay, we're going to do one more question for the night, and then I'm going to pass you on to Mr. Shongwe. He's going to do a couple of things with you. Oh, the 48 came from saying negative 2 times positive 24. That's where that negative 48 came from. All right. Okay, one more question. One more question for the night. And then we're going to do a quick poll, and you're going to do a quiz because it's Thursday. Can I make this one a bit nastier? You know what I'm going to do? If you're feeling great with so far, like if you've been getting them all right, then I want you to try this. It's not going to be, ooh, gosh, it's not going to be much harder, but let's just make it a little bit more interesting. If you've been getting them right, I want you to try putting a negative 2 in the front and getting your answer. If you're struggling a little bit, then rather focus just on the left. Okay, and once you have your answer, just put it in the chat for us. And just be careful with your signs and your variables here. Think about what those exponents would be when you multiply things together. Okay. I know not all of you may be finished yet, but I'm just going to start slowly going through this. So my first one, I have to have my first term times my first term. Now think about signs, numbers, variables. Signs, they're both positive. Numbers, 2 times 1 is 2. Variables, I've got 2 a's, so it's a squared, and I've got 2 b's, so it's b squared. Then I move on to my next one. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. My variables are a, b. Next, 1 times AB is just AB, and 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. So that's our first step over there. Now, if you were able to get that step, that is great. If you haven't done exponents in class yet, then that first term may have felt really tough. And as long as you sort of attempted and you were seeing which terms need to multiply by which, I'm happy. Okay, so that first term I'm going to keep as 2a squared b squared, and negative 8 plus 1 is negative 7ab, and then I have my minus 4, and that's my final answer. Now, if you did the one on the right, what we're going to do from here is all we do is we take that negative 2 into the brackets. So I land up with negative 4a squared b squared plus 14ab plus 8. Okay, cool. Just keep trying, guys. I'm so proud of you. You did really good work today. All right, guys, I'm leaving you in the capable hands of Mr. Shongwe. I'm going to pop over to the grade 10s, but you're going to do a quick poll and then you're going to do your quiz because it's Thursday. And I hope you have a lovely, lovely weekend, and I will see you all next week, Tuesday.